The Divine Bitch Podcast. Wake up, be aware, and live your life fully. Welcome to a new episode of the Divine Bitch Podcast. Join us when we journey into awareness, explore what it truly means to wake up, expand your consciousness, and live your life with presence.
Anja, here we are.
Here we are again.
Yes.
Indeed.
I was driving here this morning and you sent me a WhatsApp voice message with, Thomas, I know the name of the podcast. I had a dream this night and I want to start with this one.
Yes.
So
it's a good way to start a podcast indeed. I had quite an interesting night, I would say. I was thinking about the podcast. I was thinking about the Innerness podcast. And then I said, no, it has to be called differently. It has to be called The Divine Bitch. And the reason for that is that not only that I'm writing a book about awareness that is called Awareness is a Divine Bitch, but that I truly believe that the process of becoming conscious can be both exciting, can feel like bliss, but at the same time can be painful. And that's why the pain is associated with the bitch. And that's one part of the story. And the other part of the story that I identify with the divine bitch. Because my own awareness is the thing that never changes. I always say there's a whole flow of emotions, there's a whole flow of thoughts on a daily basis, but there is an inner witness behind all that. And that stillness, that part that never changes, is my own divine bitch. And if I refer to male people that might be listening, it's also the divine bastard. It's that part that feels embodied with its own nature and has the guts to be angry when they feel something happens that feels like injustice. But it's also the part that can be really exhilarated about all the good things that are happening with themselves and with the world around them.
So if I understand right, it's about, like you said, the word you used it's about embodiment. And it's about acknowledging that there's a bitch inside of you and that there's a bastard inside of me.
Exactly. It's exactly that. Because the process of awareness or the road to spirituality often says that we have to be enlightened, that we have to be pure. And obviously that's true. But there is also a part of us that needs to react when there is something happening that we don't like. It's about setting boundaries as well, and about speaking up when we feel that injustice is taking place. And I believe that this podcast is not about raping spirituality. It's about acknowledging what is really there, and not just the soft parts, the enlightened parts, but also the nitty-gritty stuff, the shitty parts that we also feel when we go through this process of consciousness.
The bitch and the bastard.
The bitch and the bastard. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It sounds powerful, right?
It does sound powerful. Yeah, and it is.
And to dive deeper into the last thing you said is these parts are also alive in ourselves. And it's like you said, it's also spirituality. It's not only the good parts, but also, and I don't want to use the words good and bad. It's what actually is it? What's the difference, Anja, between the bitch and maybe the princess or the queen or the bastard and the king maybe?
Yeah. Well, for me, there is no difference anymore because I feel that both come from the same source. It's one type of energy. But when we interact in the world today, the difference is, I think, that we often speak from an authentic truth. And then we trigger people. So the bitch and the bastard are often projections of people who embody different parts. And that's okay. But it's really important that we still continue to speak from our own truth, because that's energy flowing through us. And it also takes guts to understand that if we do that, people might not like us. Yeah. So for me, being angry or being really happy comes from the same source. It's one same form of energy. And what other people feel about that is honestly their business. And it's our challenge to accept who we truly are, and not want to be liked by those other people. Yeah.
It's not about others. It's about me, myself, and I.
That's where it starts. Yeah. I mean, for me, awareness is a full understanding of what happens inside of us. But then automatically it turns into some form of collective awareness where we also understand what's happening in the world around us. But if we take responsibility for our own energy, if the intention is pure, then it's okay to piss off people. It's okay to not be liked by everyone, because our intention is pure. We don't speak from our truth to destroy people. We speak from our truth to participate in something bigger than us, and to really want to evolve into a place where we feel love for each other. And yes, not everybody will like it. But as long as we do, I think we can embody who we truly are. Yeah.
The word that popped up in my mind was unconditional love.
Unconditional love, yeah.
And if you dare to love unconditionally yourself and also others, you can understand that you're not in the capacity to hurt anybody else. But only the others can give the meaning to the words that you give, to the energy that you bring, that you create the idea somebody's hurting me, but actually you are allowing yourself for somebody else to hurt you or to make you excited in any other way.
Yeah, exactly. And also I think it's good to reflect on yourself when that happens. When you feel hurt by somebody else, why does that feel like it does for you? I mean, why does your stomach turn around when somebody says something? Why do you feel tension in your upper body when you meet a specific person or when somebody expresses their opinion? If you really take responsibility for everything that happens inside of you, then you are capable, I believe, to transform a lot of that pain, a lot of that hurt. And it goes the other way around. I mean, if I hurt somebody, I could say, ooh, I better had not said that because the person would have been more comfortable. But in the end, it's for them also a possibility to grow. And if they take the responsibility to reflect on what's happening on the inside, they can actually use that pain to develop their own awareness. So there is no good or bad in the end.
Again, the unconditional love. And these thoughts popped up in my mind when you were talking about it. Actually, it's when you are just your authentic self and you express what you feel, what is coming up, then you're giving the gifts because you're being the unconditional love. And like you said, it's the other person's responsibility to appreciate the mirror that you are showing.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe that, you know, a lot of people lack that responsibility. There's a lot of judgment, a lot of anger towards specific people or specific opinions. But where goes your own responsibility of your reactions? I believe that if we have that unconditional love for ourselves, we can actually spread that into the world. And that's where the individual and the collective awareness goes together. I definitely don't like everybody in this world. I think that I've got a long way to go. But more and more, I feel that we are all alike. More and more, I feel that we all struggle with the same issues, with the same pain. And our stories are different for sure. But every time that I reflect on a hurt that is being put upon me, and I can actually transform it, love is what happens next. And there is no hatred towards the other anymore. But it's a process. It takes time. It's a journey. And that's why I say that journey is a divine bitch as well. Because you have to confront yourself all the time. You have to really take responsibility for everything that happens on the inside. And that's not always easy. Because there's moments that you want to say, oh, it's the other one's fault. You know, it's them, it's not me, it's not me. No. Start feeling again. And that's, that whole process of becoming who you truly are.
and again, pops up in my mind, innerness. What's for you the relation? Because innerness is your company, is
True.
the therapy that you invite people to, offer to people. And so where for you is the link with the words, especially only the words?
Yeah. Well, I thought about it for a really long time. And for me, awareness starts on the inside. So that's the inner part. If we are capable to feel, to experience with our energetic system, to reflect on our thoughts, to observe how our body moves, so that whole inner part of our human nature, then we can really change the awareness of the collective. But it all starts with ourselves. We cannot change the world from an outer's perspective. We need to do the work on the inside first, and that's where the inner comes from. So it's fairly linked with the title of the podcast, to be honest.
Of course. And again, we're building bridges here.
Yeah.
The other word that popped up was remembering or remember. And it's actually, I saw it, I think, yesterday on my Instagram. It was a story that Elio Dana was talking about, the writer of The School for Gods. And he said, because many people suffer from their own forgetfulness. They forget that other people are them. There are parts of them showing themselves. And he said, actually, the goal is to remember, to reunite all those members that you, I don't know if you lost them, but you're ignorant about them or you're forgetful about them. So you push them outside of yourself and say, oh, that's somebody else. I don't have anything to do with it.
True. Well, in shamanism, we have a really cool ceremony, and it's called putting all the parts together. So what we do is it's really dismemberment that we actually integrate again. And we do that on a physical level. So it's as if we lost our arm and we're putting our arm back into our body. And it's as if we lost our leg and we put our leg back into our body. But when we do that in group, we realize often that we reflect on each other all the time. And we hate, we like, we don't like, we really love. Those parts, if we can actually put them back into ourselves, that's when you feel unity. And for me also, the awareness or the part that is really observing all that is the one that knew. It's our personality and our ego that tends to forget what was really there. But still, if we focus on that inner witness, we do realize that we are all the same and we can feel it. It's not just about thinking that, we can feel it. And then the judgment often goes away really fast.
The feeling of oneness.
The feeling of oneness, that's a good one. For me, it definitely means integrating our full bodies. I work a lot with trauma and trauma release. For me, I don't think it's possible to really transform trauma without touching on the full bodies. The outer body is the mental body that often has a lot of judgment or that has a lot of specific thoughts. And if you do therapy, cognitive therapy only, you will touch part of the trauma, but you will not be able to fully transform because it's only 25% of who you really are. So in order to transform something fully, you need to go through the 3 remaining bodies. And after the thought, we have the physical body. That's where the hurt is often concentrated. And after the physical pain, if we stay with that, we often cry. So we touch on the emotional body. And if you can stay with that, we will feel a tingling sensation throughout the body because the energy in our neural circuits can flow again. So, for me, oneness is the integration of those 4 bodies. And when you are there, then the integration with everything becomes possible. Then oneness is much bigger than who we are as an individual. Then it's about connecting with Mother Nature and feeling that, okay, I cannot throw this can out of the car because I'm hurting myself. And then it becomes connection with universe and the different sources of the universe. You know, your etherical body is one, your archangels are another source, the planet where you came from is another source. So yeah, oneness is huge, for sure.
Beautiful. This is already, that's the experience that I have with this conversation. Like, we're opening up a lot of things already. And that's why we're we're creating more episodes, of course, to go deeper into those specific topics of divinity, of consciousness, of mental, physical, emotional, and energetic body.
Yes.
What's the message that you want to bring now in this episode, at the end of this part of the introduction, actually?
Yeah. The key message here is that awareness is everything. If you are struggling with yourself, if you are struggling with the society that we live in today, know that you can change that. You don't have to suffer on a daily basis to be who you are. There's a lot of highly sensitive people out there that I really want to reach out to. Being one myself, but I see a lot more highly sensitive people today, especially children or teenagers. You can live your life to the fullest potential today in 2025. You do not have to decide to step out of this life because you feel like you cannot be yourself. There is a way to get there. And I truly hope that this podcast will participate in that. I truly commit to writing a book that will help people to embody who they are and expand in the world we live in today, even if it feels like a little bit of an insensitive world today.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
To cover the struggles, can you open up a bit more awareness for the listeners? Because many people see struggle as health issues, mental or physical, but very often a lot of those symptoms and signals are less big, more, they're not that provocative as huge sicknesses.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, a lot of people are surviving, and that's good. I mean, I'm really glad that we all have an ego that helps us with that, because I'm not the kind of person that says you have to lose your ego. I think the reality of the world we live in today means that we can have moments where we need to survive. That's fine. However, there is such a huge possibility to embody our full potential as well. And the signs that we get early on when we don't embody that full potential usually come in gradually. It starts with tension in the body. It can start with physical illness, headaches, and so on. Often, gradually over time, these small signals from the body, when they are not listened to, they become bigger. And we can create mental illnesses. But even fear is a result of a body that is holding energy that is not authentic. And when that continues for a long time, the ego will create fear so that we protect ourselves, so that we prevent ourselves from getting hurt more. But all fears can be transformed, and they can be transformed in a very fast way. I see it happen in my practice every day. It doesn't have to take a lot of medication. It doesn't have to take years of therapy to transform fear. If you learn how to embody that fear and you really stay with it, it's only a matter of a couple of sessions, usually. Yeah. Now, what I see more and more today, and that's frightening, but at the same time exciting, is that people lose their sense of being, their sense of purpose. What am I doing here in this world? And that's also a pain that is energetic, but that's a pain that a lot of people are dealing with, specifically in the world today. Also, that can be changed rather quickly. You know, it's about understanding what your soul likes to do here, writing about it, journaling about it, and then finding those things that help you be more energized, for instance. So the energetic pain is growing fast, I believe, today. So the emotional pain, we've all been there, I think. We've all been numbed. We've all tried to forget that we are sad when somebody passes away, for instance. We all want to be nice, so we try and suppress our anger at times. And if we do that for a long time, our body will react. So again, it's happening on different levels. And what I see today is that a lot of people have issues with their immune system. So stress leading to severe physical issues. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening in the world today. And I guess they've always been there. But what people don't realize is there is an alternative route to becoming healthy again. And it doesn't take years and years and years and years. No. It doesn't have to.
It's one of the illusions that is alive in society, that change takes a lot of time.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, and that's my own experience too, as you said yourself, it can happen even faster than overnight. It can happen in a split second.
Yeah.
The moment that you become aware and that you can, you gain the responsibility, reclaim the responsibility again to make a different choice.
Exactly. It happens gradually. Yeah. I mean, change is small and takes step by step. But at the same time, there's breakthrough moments, like you say. And I had mine when I was about 20 years old. So I was paralyzed at the time. As a child, I was having a lot of operations. There was a lot of things wrong in my physical body. I would not feel anything anymore. And when they told me that I would never be able to walk again, I could literally feel my awareness explode. It was a moment that I connected with who I truly was again in an instant. As soon as that doctor left the hospital room, I was there again. And that doesn't mean it was easy, obviously, because there's a lot of steps to take when they tell you, okay, we're going to have a couple of operations and your life will change drastically. But I felt at that moment that I could do everything and I would do everything to be healthy again. So I am healthy. Yeah. How was that for you, Thomas? I'm interested because now that we are talking about breakthrough moments.
I have a few on my list already now.
And
it's my experience that they're more accumulating, and I don't want to call them breakthrough moments, but like I said, moments of awareness that you reclaim responsibility in a different way. You view the world in a different way. You feel, you sense yourself in a different way. That's my own experience, that it's like there are layers, as you called also with the bodies, the physical, the mental, the emotional, that you have experiences that a layer opens up and that your awareness, from my experience, is remembered. I had last summer, I had a breakthrough. I had my own experience, and I had the feeling that suddenly I was able to touch all the experiences I had in my life on a deeper level, on a sensation that I was not aware before.
True.
And in this way, it's why our business is called unfolding.
Yeah.
These layers, they open up if you want to. If you want to dive into yourself, if you want to explore who you really are, what your energy is all about, and actually what your authentic self is. Because it's not something you have to do.
Yeah,
and for me, a big part started around, it's more than 10 years ago. A doctor told me I had the disease of Crohn, or I was developing the disease of Crohn. It was never really clearly diagnosed. But he said, well, I think it's going that way. And then I remember well that I left the hospital and I was crying, and I was like, because I asked the doctor, what can I do? And he said, and it was like, he laughed at me. He said, oh boy, we have some medications. We have, if those don't work anymore, we have surgery, and then you'll have to accept for the rest of your life that you have a disease, that this will be your life path. And I was like, no, not happening. And in the beginning, I started with all the physical stuff. And then last years, also when I met you, it helped me to deepen my awareness, my being. So thank you for that also, for being part of my journey.
Very welcome, and I thank you for being here. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a nice process. I also compare it to, you're in a dark room and the light goes on. Yeah, but everything that's in the room was there already. You just didn't see it before. Or maybe you were overwhelmed because you were scared of the darkness. But it was there, and that's the whole rememberment. Yeah, it's a very beautiful process to be in.
Okay. As last part of this episode, is there anything you want to share about your book also that touches the layers we've touched already?
Yes. So why did I write the book? There was 2 reasons. I wanted to do something that would impact more people, because I know that the route to therapy is not the route for everybody. And I combined my own life experiences with everything I learned in the process. So with some methods of how to become aware, like journaling, for instance, all the things that I learned in shamanism. And I want it to be like something for dummies, something that we can all do. And I think I succeeded in that. It's a book about becoming who you really are. And then, that's for me also very important, then participating to the wider community, then participating to the collective awareness. Because for me, I've always said, if I have to do something here on this earth, it's, being part of a global movement where we can share unconditional love and leave the world behind in a little bit nicer way than we maybe received it. Yeah. And it's all inside of us already. So I think that we are living in a fascinating times now, and that a lot of people can contribute to that global movement. So yeah, that's what the book is about.
Perfect. My experience and my feeling tells me now that this is the end of the first episode.
All right.
And from here on, we'll explore the different topics. Actually, we've opened a lot of those topics already in a gentle way.
Yeah,
and we'll dive in through the rest of those episodes. What do you want to suggest to the listeners how to listen to the podcast, actually?
I always think it's nice when people listen to something that at times they close their eyes to feel what's happening on the inside. If you feel triggered, then try and embody that trigger in a sense that, where do you feel the tension rising, for instance? Is that in your chest? Is it in your belly? And then after the podcast, take some time to integrate it all. Because in that way, you will get the most of it. Now, our body is made in such a way that if we are in a sympathetic state of our energetic system, which means activated, ready for action, and stressed out, or it doesn't have to be negative, but it can be really active.
The fight or flight.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Then you may not get everything that is being said. But if you take a cup of tea before you start listening, and you look outside and you focus on your breathing, even if it's only for 1 or 2 minutes, then you will get the most out of this podcast. So try and do that. Yeah.
So the message is clear. Take your time, and especially allow yourself to experience what you are experiencing, not the words that we are using. And it's actually less important than the experience that the listener can have from this.
Exactly. It's not about the podcast. It's about you stumbling on this podcast and getting the most out of the experience, for sure.
And if you close your eyes, don't do it while driving a car, right? Or walking or running.
That's a good suggestion. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
When driving, stay focused.
Yeah. So pay attention when you listen to this podcast. If you allow yourself to really feel, slow down.
Yes.
That was a message that I had in my podcast too, like slow down instead of rushing on through life, because a lot of people listen to podcasts.
Yeah, while doing something else.
While still being busy.
Yeah, exactly.
So allow yourself to take some time to slow down and to enjoy and connect and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Good suggestion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the path of awareness. Pay attention, open up, and remind yourself that awareness is not a destination. It's a way of life. See you in the next episode.